No, now I am. Okay. Yeah, hello. Yes. Yeah, 5, 4, 3. Well, thank you very much, dear viewers and colleagues in here. This is the government and okay. Hope simweze matifaka nishitayamba futi matichosa. Okay. Okay, stand by. Okay. Thank you very much, studio. We are live from the provincial administration here in Choma, the capital for Southern Province, where today we are hosting the chief government spokesperson, who is also the Minister of Information and Media, and also the national spokesperson for the ruling United Party for National Development. He's going to clarify some issues and also share out some information that we've been receiving queries on. And thereafter, we'll ask the media in here and all those who are following online to ask their questions. Right now, I hand over to the Minister of Information and Media. The Minister, sir.
Thank you very much, Director. And good afternoon, countrymen and women and the youth of Zambia, coming live from here in Choma. We are joined together this afternoon with the Minister of the Southern Province, Honorable Fredo Nanjua, and also my dear colleagues from the media and various media platforms through which this afternoon we get connected to the rest of the nation through ZNBC, through Prime TV, through Ministry of Information and other platforms. This afternoon, we want to ventilate on a few issues that we feel as government is necessary that we make known to the public as to how we stand in relation to the same. The nation will recall that last week, the President of the Republic of Zambia, His Excellency, President Hakainde Hichilema, performed a working tour or visit of the Copper Belt to go and attend to various national issues that we think it is important to highlight to the citizens and the nation on the transaction of events that took place on the Copper Belt and be able to clarify certain issues where need be. The President set out his tour, firstly by attending the EU-Zambia Business Forum in Kitwe, which was a very important function as far as government in Zambia is concerned, because it provided an opportunity for discussions around business investments and investment opportunities in Zambia on the Copper Belt, looking at the state of our economy, the opportunities that are there to attract foreign direct investment. This was a very important function that the President graced on the Copper Belt. It brought an alumni of business people who had an opportunity to interact so that you can end up with business transactions that should bring investments in the Zambian economy. The second function the President attended was the commissioning of the 60 megawatts CEC solar plant on the Copper Belt. This commissioning would not have come at a better time than this, when the nation is grappling with the issue of the national drought and therefore the issue to do with electricity supply challenges. This particular commissioning was very important because it speaks to the future of power or electricity generation in this country, that solar power is the way to go. The Cabinet at its last sitting resolved to ensure that the country begins to graduate progressively from a singular dependency of hydroelectricity into solar generated power as we begin to respond in a more sustainable manner to the issue of climate change. The Cabinet resolved that government will lead the way in giving as a good example to the transitioning from hydropower to solar power by ensuring that government installations and/or infrastructure should be connected to solar power as a way of showing that solar power is a viable alternative to hydroelectricity, which presently is giving a challenge in terms of production, given the low water levels that we have received in our dam reservoirs relating to those installations where we produce electricity in the country. The President went on a third mission to have a meeting at Levi Mwanawasa Stadium with drivers, particularly truck drivers, who brought to the fore and to the attention of the president various challenges that the drivers face as they go about doing their business, and spelled out some of what they believe should be the solutions that should be applied to address the challenges that the drivers and their sector are faced with. And this is a particular transaction which we believe has demonstrated that when the president says he is running an open government, he means just what he says. He was able to give all the time that was necessary for the drivers to be able to bring to the fore the attention of the president the concerns that they are faced with as employees in various companies, and particularly bringing to the president's attention the advantage that foreign truckers and companies seem to enjoy in this country, the same not being enjoyed by Zambian truckers and truck drivers in foreign jurisdictions. The government notes, therefore, that the president shall continue to provide an opportunity for conversation with various sectors and stakeholders in the governance of our country as we together work round to ensure that we prescribe solutions to the governance of our country rather than just identifying the challenges. Issue number 4. The president headed to Luanshya to go and commission the dewatering process of Shaft 28 mine in Luanshya. Government sees this as a very important milestone that is leading to the awakening of a sleeping mining giant in Luanshya, in ensuring that a mine which has been dormant in the last 2 decades plus can now be brought back to life, turning it into a living asset for the benefit of the people of Luanshya, the benefit of the people of the Copper Belt, and for the benefit of the economy of this country. We, as government, are very satisfied that once Shaft 28 in Luanshya is at full strength operational, a number of jobs, particularly to the young people who have gone unemployed for many years, will be created, something which government is so eager to see. This mine, once fully operational, is going to add to the vision of the New Dawn administration to the production of about 3 million tons of copper per annum. This was an idle asset which the New Dawn administration could not let continue to lie in that state, and ensured that through interactions with the business community, it has been brought to life. We are happy to indicate that out of the trip that His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zambia, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, performed to the People's Republic of China, and the business transactions and discussions that were conducted in China, one of them was to sign an agreement for Shaft 28 to be brought to life, and as government, we are ecstatic and happy that out of a trip that the president performed to China, benefits are beginning to be seen tangible on the ground. Therefore, it speaks to the value of the international trips that the president has been making, that he has made trips that end up in transactions, and one of such transactions is Shaft 28. We do believe that by the dewatering, which has been commissioning, that has now begun, which symbolizes that this particular mine is coming to life, the life of Luanshya will never be the same again. The life of the copper belt will never be the same again. The economy of this country stands to benefit. Issues to do with inflation and the dollar-kwacha relationship, all clustered together, come under consideration when such business transactions begin to be operationalized. The president, while in Luanshya, took time to interact with ordinary citizens by holding a public rally or meeting at Mpatamato, grounds in Luanshya, in order to accord the people of Luanshya and Copperbelt an opportunity to interact with their president, unlike just hearing about the president's presence without a physical interaction. The president has insisted that he is a people's president, and therefore, wherever he goes, he has to find time to interact with an ordinary citizen, an ordinary Zambian, in line and in keeping with his philosophy that he is servant number one in Zambia. The president proceeded to the commissioning of the Chingola Chilabombwe Kasumbalesa Road, the first flagship carrier public-private partnership development project under the New Dawn administration, one that signals that PPPs, when well managed, they work to the advantage of government, because the government, without spending money, managed to attract a partner under the PPP model who has done this particular road, the Chingola Chilabombwe Kasumbalesa Road, and it is a state-of-art road. And when you look at the value that is associated with this particular road, there is just $1 million in terms of numbers. That is more than the kilometers being done, meaning therefore that that road was done for about 1 kilometer to $1 million. This is unlike some of the roads we have seen before. It signifies and marks prudent management of national resources. This is important, notwithstanding the fact that this is a PPP, and therefore funds were mobilized by the private sector, but government is aware that at the end of the day, there is a liability that will be translated to the road users who will be paying road toll fees. And it was important and imperative for government to ensure that the developer of that road had to come up with a pricing or costing of the road which is reasonable, in accordance with the presidential directive of ensuring that projects under the New Dawn administration meet a minimum criteria of quality, of timely, delivery, and ensuring value for money. This is what the New Dawn administration is all about. His Excellency the President proceeded to meet mine suppliers and contractors in Mufulira to be able to assure them about how his administration stands in relation to investors who are coming on board in the mining sector, and to assure the mine suppliers and contractors that government will ensure that investors in that sector remain compliant to agreements of investments, particularly to do with ensuring that local suppliers and contractors are given their rightful share of supply and contracting to the mining firms, and that they must duly be paid on time. Secondly, that investors in the mining sector will be able to make available funds aimed at mines development to ensure that the mines continue to be a going concern going forward, to assure business sustainability of the mining business itself and for those who are involved in supplying and contracting. Third, the President assured the mine suppliers and contractors that jobs that are reserved for Zambians will be maintained for Zambians to ensure local participation of citizens in the businesses in their local areas, to ensure that the local economies in mining areas also benefit from mining activities in those areas, and also ensuring and assuring the mine suppliers and contractors of government's commitment to maintain and retain an attractive and predictable mining regulatory regime, which is very important to ensure that investors know beforehand what they expect when they bring their investments to this country. We are therefore, as government, happy to ensure that the copper belt, in terms of mining, is waking up from a slumber. The President, whilst in Mufulira, proceeded to commissioning Buteko Market. This was a very important event because it speaks to government's commitment to ensuring that minimum standards of services in public utilities are provided by government. The government is pleased to note that through the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development, a modern market in Buteko Market was built and handed over to the marketeers who, in the past, have been a subject of losses when that market, in a dilapidated state that it was a makeshift kind of infrastructure, would be gutted almost year in, year after. We as government are satisfied with the works that were done on the Buteko Market to ensure that a decent trading place has been provided to our people in Mufulira. And of course, on Saturday, as an ardent Christian, the President took time to worship at SDA Kitwe, something which he always does whenever he's on duty and finds time to be able to interact with his fellow Christians, SDA. And of course, the following day, the President was in Ndola at Ndola Catholic diocese to be able to interact with worshippers. Again, the President emphasizing the fact that we can belong to different churches, but we worship one God, and as Zambians, we live under one constitutionally recognized emblem of being a Christian nation. The president also inspected Wusakire Hospital to ensure that he has first-hand information on what is happening on the ground. The president also took time to visit the students at CBU to interact and get first-hand information from the students as to their welfare. The nation may recall that not too long ago, a few years ago, the previous administration had withdrawn meal allowances from students at public university. And the president took time, having reinstated meal allowances to students at public universities, to interact with students at the Copperbelt University. Again, the president is being deliberate to be able to get to particular places and interact with particular stakeholders so that he can get first-hand information of what is happening pertaining to the governance of this, our great country. The president went ahead to visit Chifubu on the occasion of the commissioning of the first level Chifubu Hospital in Chifubu constituency. Again, this has been one of those projects where the president has walked the talk, and for those who are creating a narrative, which I'll soon be addressing, labeling and calling the president to say he's a liar, he doesn't keep promises, that obufi bwa kiramu, that when you add lies and corruption, then the country is going nowhere. This is your answer. When the president goes to commission Chifubu First Level Hospital, it shows you that this is a government on the move. The government, through His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zambia, in 2022, during the Kwacha by-elections, having conducted door-to-door campaigns himself, did assure the residents of Old Kwacha in Kwacha constituency that there was going to be an upgrade of water and sanitation services in the area, given the deplorable state that was obtaining in that particular area. And during that by-election, the president directed that DMMU finds resources, given that that particular situation which was obtaining on the ground was of emergency nature. Put straight in that particular area of Kwacha constituency, you had a population of about 123,500 that were relying on pit latrines and digging shallow wells to access water. And as the president went about his door-to-door campaigns in Kwacha, that struck him, and he gave this direction. Therefore, Nkana Water Supply and Sanitation Company Limited was contracted to be able to carry out emergency works in Kwacha constituency, funded by the government Republic of Zambia through the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit, DMMU, at the cost of 53.4 million kwacha. So, On Saturday, last week, 13th April 2024, the President visited that particular project to be able to commission it, because the construction period was February 2023 to April 2024, this particular month, as the completion for the construction of about 1,600 flushable toilets, transitioning from pit latrines that people had been using since independence. So that project is called Emergency Works Project in Kwacha constituency, worth 53.4 million kwacha, to build about 1,600 waterborne toilets transitioning from pit latrines. I must indicate here that as of 13th April, Saturday, 2024, when the President visited Kwacha constituency, 1,240 out of the 1,674 of those waterborne or flushable toilets were complete and ready for handover to the beneficiaries. I would like to emphasize that that project, therefore, is an upgrade in terms of supply of water and sanitation project, services, which includes, like I've indicated, construction of 1,674 waterborne or flushable toilets, a sewer network of about 3 kilometers, 80% of which has already been constructed, and works that are progressing are standing and outstanding at 12%. So what the President, therefore, went to commission in Kwacha, which some quarters of our society have depicted as President HH commissioning a singular toilet, is actually a project where he went to commission a project of 1,674 waterborne or flushable toilets, graduating from pit latrines that residents were using since independence. So I'd like to clarify that point, that it is not, the President did not go to commission one single toilet. He went to commission a project of 1,674 toilets, out of which 1,240 were ready for commission as being complete as of Saturday, 13th April 2024, with the others requiring final touches, them standing at 12%, with works outstanding. And it is being envisaged that by 30th of April 2024, all the remaining outstanding works on the other remaining toilets and sanitation pipes will be completed. It is also envisaged that the month of May will be used to look out for defects, that is a defect liability, period, and that by June 2024, it will have been ascertained that all the works were as contracted. So it has come as a surprise and as a shock to government that some members of the opposition and some media houses are trying to portray this particular massive project of 53.4 million kwacha as being a project of one particular single toilet. As government, we have received this with a sense of shock, because when His Excellency the President in 2022 during the by-elections in Kwacha made those public pronouncements that due to the deplorable state of sanitation in Old Kwacha of Kwacha constituency, and given the rising occurrences of cholera, it was imperative to begin to upgrade some of these residential areas in the like manner that now the government is earmarking upgrading of parts of Lusaka, starting with Kanyama, in order to respond to the challenge of sanitation and cholera. That now some people can say the president went to commission a single toilet. As a government, we would like to urge the opposition to come up with material and substantial issues that they would like to engage this government on. That is what we would like to request, and on that score, we can engage to make progress. Let me also take this opportunity, therefore, since this is also under my ministry, to urge my colleagues in the media that let us be of good use to the information of the public. We in the media, or some sections of the media, no matter how partisan they may be by orientation, should not use that public function of being a media channeling out information to the unsuspecting public to be used as purveyors of lies and misinformation. I did witness with gross horror and consternation a TV station, KBN TV, hosting a discussion on the President of the Republic of Zambia commissioning one toilet in Kitwe and opening phone lines, allowing unsuspecting citizens to make comments on an informed basis, and even create a caption that we have now seen they have thrown around social media, that the diaspora is disappointed with President HH commissioning one toilet. Yet these are the same people as media who followed presidential proclamations when the president was in Kitwe during the Kwacha by-elections, that he had directed that there should be an upgrade in terms of sanitation, water and sanitation services in the area. It is also expected that if that was going to be true, that a president can go to commission a toilet, we expect a vigilant and vibrant media to investigate the truth about such a startling proposal before venturing to misinform the public, to host discussion programs, knowing very well that the anchor of such a discussion was based on misinformation. Again, being in charge of this ministry, I don't want to be the one to say I should be checking whether IBA is following up on the contents that some of our media outlets are feeding to the nation in line with the provisions of the Independent Broadcasting Authority Act of 2002. It sets out the conditions that all media houses must be able to follow, particularly to do with the content. And therefore, we would like to indicate that the public out there should not be misinformed, should not be deceived by some media houses who are doing partisan politics, and also some opposition political players who have run out of basic issues of materiality that they can engage government on, and now have opted and resorted to propaganda day in, day out. It is definitely unreasonable and unthinkable to imagine that any head of state, particularly President HH, can set out to go and commission a single toilet. Let me also indicate here that we have observed with sadness as government some of the comments that are being thrown out there in the social media space from various sectors, particularly the opposition, accusing the president of being mismanaged and wasting taxpayers' money to travel from Lusaka to Kitwe to go and commission one toilet. From this transaction of 14 events that the president went to attend and grace, 14 of them, it is very clear that the president's trip to the Copper Belt was worthwhile. Each and every single day that he spent on the Copper Belt, he utilized it prudently, knowing that as servant number one of the people, he was using the people's time. These 14 transactions or events that the president attended to are programs that are meant to improve the development of our country, the livelihoods of our people, and therefore one cannot competently say taxpayers' money was wasted in the president visiting the Copper Belt and that the president was mismanaged. There was no question of mismanagement whatsoever when you look at these 12 particular events that the president was associated to and or graced. We've also noted some of the comments that are meant to downgrade our people in those residential areas, such as Old Kwacha in Kwacha constituency, where some quarters of our sections of our population are saying, how can the president visit such an area to visit one toilet? Well, I would like to indicate here that President HH was voted by all the people of Zambia, represented by the 2.8 million who cast their vote in favor of President HH. And therefore, by being a Republican president, he is a president for all. And him coming from a very humble background, he always finds joy and time to interact with communities, particularly those that some may deem to be of a low class. Because after all, he comes from that same low class himself. He has reminded us time and again that hasn't it been for the fact that he got a free education that gave him an equalizer opportunity in life with those who came from well-to-do families, he may as well have been in the village in Iwengwa. He has reminded us time and again. And so, to those who are looking down that the president went to that residential area, I would like to indicate that for us in the New Dawn, we are happy to have a president who identifies with the poor. Because after all, the majority of those who woke up to go and vote on 12th August 2021 were the poor people, looking for an opportunity for their lives to turn around into a better situation. And clearly, the nation could see some of the testimonies that were given, particularly by some women in Luwansha and also Mufuliro. Particularly when you talk about this issue of upgrading water and sanitation services, we had one woman who said that she has lived in Old Kwacha of Kwacha constituency in that particular house from 1968, relying on and using a pit latrine, and that a number of children in the area had been drowning in those pit latrines, and that she did not imagine that one day there will come a government and or a president who will make it possible for the people of Old Kwacha to live like those in Nkana Riverside. No wonder she even said this particular area now is our riverside. That is what we think that upgrade in water and sanitation meant to the local people of Old Kwacha in Kwacha constituency. For the elites, those who live better lives, those who stole from the taxpayers and have built themselves mansions in Lusaka and other places, they see no value when an ordinary resident can have access to a flushable and waterborne toilet. It is no wonder that out of all these 14 transactions the president went to perform on the Copper Belt, our colleagues, particularly in the opposition, only have two takeaways. One, a mystique toilet, and two, bees. Those are the only things they are talking about out of all these things that the president went to attend to. Further, the country has recently been greeted with a shocking revelation that the appointed liquidator of KCM has forfeited 124 million United States dollars, equivalent to CDF for 20 constituencies, one person. All those issues, our colleagues who are in UKA can't see, they can't comment. We want to take this opportunity to urge our colleagues in UKA to give us a comment on the forfeiture of 24 million, not 100, 24 million United States dollars. It would also be nice to hear from the former president, who was the national supervisor as the president of the republic then, when KCM appointed that liquidator, that he should share with us his thoughts about this forfeiture of 24 million United States dollars from the appointed liquidator of KCM. We also want him and his colleagues to explain to the people of Zambia how the liquidator, instead of winding up the company in order to do an inventory of debts and assets, went on to become a trader, him or herself. These are the issues where the people of Zambia are interested to hear about. If one person can forfeit 24 million United States dollars, how much money is he remaining with? That could be questionable. And if a liquidator who was not a minister of mines, or a minister of any ministry, a vice president or a president, or a son to a president, as the case may be, could be found with that money. How much money is out there at large which former President Edgar Chagwa Lungu and his colleagues who ran the previous administration must account for and explain to the people of Zambia? How much money is in hiding out there? Is it the reason that they are coming out with buoyant impunity about Arebwererapo? These are the questions the people of Zambia want answered. Let me wind up by indicating that this weekend, His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zambia, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, will be gracing the Kuomboka ceremony of the Barotse people of Western Province in Limulunga, and we invite the rest of the country to join His Excellency the President in attending the Kuomboka. For us as government, Kuomboka, like other traditional ceremonies, is an important occasion which is a uniting point for the people of Zambia to continue to live together as one in peace and unity. And on that platform of peace and unity, be able to drive the agenda of development of our country, as peace is a prerequisite for developmental takeoff. Further, we take these traditional ceremonies as an opportunity to showcase our heritage and also to showcase our tourism endowment as a country. So, we urge all those who can to travel into Mongu. The head of state will be gracing Kuomboka 2024. Thank you so much. Any questions, dear colleagues from the media? Quick, if they have questions.
Honorable Minister, before we take the questions from here, we take the questions from those questions coming from online. We have Field Mudenda, who is trying to find out the story of President Hakainde Hichilema being rejected by BRI, and he says kindly shed more light. The second one is coming from Kennedy Mashau, and he says KBN TV, if they are not reporting according to the information, then it should be closed. Maybe you can also comment on that one. The third one is coming from Adrian MC. He's saying that you are having rallies but denying the opposition. Kindly shed light. Maybe you can respond to this, Honorable Minister. Then we call upon the colleagues within here to ask their questions.
Thank you very much for those questions coming from colleagues online. The BRI, there is, you are saying that there is circulating information that the BRI has rejected President HH to attend this year's Kuomboka ceremony. I have just announced that His Excellency the President will be this weekend. So that is the state of affairs. The question of BRI, we actually, I'm hearing it from social media. We have not come out anywhere where there is any reservation by the BRI. As you know, government, particularly this particular government of President HH, is working well with all their royal establishments across the country. We do not have any challenge this far. KBN, if they are broadcasting based on information which is not factual, they should be closed. Well, this is not an administration which wants to threaten and intimidate the media. We want the media to thrive, in our country, because the media is, as a fourth estate, a major yardstick in measuring the state of our democracy, particularly to do with freedom of speech, because it is a platform on which our citizens express, themselves and enjoy the right, to speech. And where a particular media house is operating outside the law in terms of the IBA Act, that is not for me to take action. That is for IBA within the confines of the law to be able to check, not just KBN, any other media house that may be operating outside the precincts of the law. And if what KBN is doing is within the law, perfect. You know that you have a president who is not averse to being brought into conversation. That is why he repealed the law to do with defamation of the president, in order to allow wider latitude by citizens to have an opportunity to speak at the presidency. But the issue to do with misinformation by media houses is a source of concern by this particular Ministry of Information and Media, and we will be engaging various stakeholders, media owners, media houses, practitioners, to ensure professionalism is espoused in these media houses, to ensure that we maintain the collective integrity and professionalism of the media fraternity. Adrian, rallies, you are denying the opposition, and yourselves, you are having rallies. Well, I want to indicate that it is government's commitment, particularly the president, in line with the law, particularly the Constitution, in upholding the constitutional provision to the right of assembly, the right of association, the right of expression, and the right of speech, that citizens are at liberty to be able to assemble peaceably and go about to interact. Now, if you are going to refer to the recent issue of UKA, I think that we have responded that as government, we would like to see the opposition hold rallies and meetings. But they deliberately did a political ploy or gimmick to use a non-existing, political entity legally. That is to say, one which is not yet registered as a front to notify the police of UKA's intention to hold a rally. Therefore, at law, UKA could not be held recognizable, for which it can be used as a platform for police to transact with. And we as government have pronounced ourselves that in future, individual political party members who are constituent members of UKA are at liberty, such as Citizens First, ULP, and any of them, to use one of their existing legally recognizable entities to notify police, so that police know which entity they are dealing with of fixed abode, so that should anything happen, they know who to take accountable or hold accountable for. That is how it operates. And we look forward to our colleagues, the individual political parties, one of them, they can use one of them to notify the police and go ahead and hold their rallies. We have insisted that what was done to us in the opposition, we would not want to do, or that it be done under our leadership. But at the end of the day, one thing has to be mentioned. For democracy to survive, governance must be anchored on a rule of law. Any departure from rule of law is a prescription of anarchy in the country. And therefore, those who want to go ahead to hold rallies, meetings, follow the law as it is established, and surely you should be able to go ahead with your meetings. Thank you.
So now we are going to have questions from our colleagues that are here with us. I will start with you.
Good afternoon, Honorable. Michael Nyumbu is my name, from Baita. My question goes to the provincial minister. A few months ago, you made a statement here that time has come to market the mining potential of Southern Province, because the history holds us that we are a province which is anchored on agriculture. Here in Choma, we have one particular area, Masuku, which has got one common habit of illegal mining. At some point, lives were lost there. And until now, people they are complaining that the process is too long for them to come and register here and be recognized as a cooperative to regard mining there. So my question is government taking any measures to ensure that mining in Masuku area of Choma is well structured to stop the illegal mining? Then the second question is, I think almost a week now from the time Choma Milling began producing Z&S Eagle Milling, the long queues which we had in Choma CBD have now disappeared. They're no longer there. But we have some particular areas, one of them being Siabonkuluru of Bump, where people are saying it's not possible for them to easily access a bag of Eagle Milling. Any measures being taken to ensure that they can also easily access a bag of Z&S produced milling? Thank you.
Good afternoon, Minister, Honorable Cornelius Mwetwa, and the Provincial Minister. My name is Maybin Augustine Katunguru from YGFM Radio. I just wanted to make a clarification, the Minister of Information and Media, on the President gracing the Komboga ceremony. Because news is going around everywhere in social media talking about Chitimukulu, the chief, they are gracing the Komboga ceremony. But now we have told us that the President is going to grace the occasion. Just make that clarification, and maybe what role now is the Chief Chitimukulu is going to play at Komboga ceremony. Thank
you. So we only have those three questions, two coming from Baita and one from YGFM. And we'll now allow the Provincial Minister to respond to the question directed to him. Thereafter, the Chief Government Spokesperson will respond to the questions directed to him as well.
Thank you very much, my colleague from Baita. First of all, I appreciate also the Honorable Minister for Information and Media for highlighting these very pertinent matters that have been in the media, and also congratulate His Excellency for a very economic and successful trip or tour of the Copper Belt. As you put the question, yes, as provincial administration, we are very committed to expose the province to the investment world in the line of mining potential here in Southern Province. And from the time when we mentioned, we have been really working hard to ensure that the province is continues to attract investors in the mining sector. I can make mention to you, sir, that last week I think we had 3-4 meetings of potential investors who have come into the province, who have come with intentions to either put up processing plants for certain minerals or to get mines to start explorations in some sections of the region, in some districts, to invest in the mining sector, which is very exciting to us because we are seeing that the province now is getting exposed and more value will be added in terms of business, in terms of job creation. To be specific, where you have mentioned in Masuku, we are very much alive to that fact that many cooperatives in the province have applied for artisanal mining licenses, of which some of the cooperatives have been, their licenses have been approved. I will take an example. Some of the cooperatives in Zimba district and Sinazongwe have been approved. But what is holding is that the main license holder, his license has not been yet issued. Because when you are a cooperative, most of those artisanal licenses, they were supposed to operate on the main license. So before the main license holder is granted with that license, those artisanal license holders will not be able to move on that area because it's supposed to be on another license. So once that is done, then they'll be allowed to start mining. And the issue that we are trying to encourage is that those cooperatives, once they get their artisanal licenses, they are granted, while they are mining on that license, they should be able to be capacitated. Because we have got some cooperatives, some of the members of the cooperatives, they do not have the skill to do the mining. So once there is that relationship with the mining license holder, the main holder, then there will be that collaboration which is going to create capacity in terms of skill, in terms of equipment, and probably in terms of finance, through working together with the main holder and government, so that we create capacity in them and they become more efficient in the production and they'll create more value for themselves. So in Masuku, as provincial administration, we haven't really made a follow-up to see those who have applied there, what is happening at the Ministry of Mines. Because as you are aware, all those licenses are issued at the Ministry of Mines. So we'll be, if that is brought to our attention, we'll be able to make an official follow-up to check what is really obtaining there, whether there is someone who has applied there on a larger scale, where those cooperatives will get artisanal mining licenses. Then we'll be able to make a follow-up on that and see how we can help. But we are committed to ensure that our young people, our traditional leaders, and all community members, those who are willing to do mining, they are helped and achieve their goals. That's the position. Then on the milling situation, yes, we had a challenge where long queues were really taking place, for example, here in Choma and other districts. But we are working in collaboration with ZNS to see how we can create more linkages to make the accessibility of Milimu, the Ego, because everyone is looking for the Ego brand. Milimu is available from other millers, but they are looking for the cheaper Milimu, which is being milled by either ZNS or correctional services. So those are the cues. But also there, the message that we give to our public people is that we should not sabotage the process, because there are unscrupulous people who will want to queue up there. They line up people, they are buying with a view of taking that Milimu to go and resell at a higher price. Then now you are in conflict with us if that happens. But as government and as provincial administration, we are trying to create more outlets, agents in many other areas, so that we can create easy accessibility to the product by the public. So that is the position, and we'll continue doing that, but the people should not take advantage of that. I'm well informed, Honorable Minister, that actually in some other districts, some district commissioners, because of the behavior of certain individuals, they have seized certain Milimu. And we will do that if someone misbehaves. So we want to urge our people to work in line with the guidelines. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Minister, for the province. There was a question from YGM FM. Kuomboka. I think that my job is to announce where the president will be. And this Saturday, he will be gracing the Kuomboka ceremony. I speak for the president and his government. I don't speak for any other person. Thank you so much.
Well, since we don't have any more questions coming from online and the colleagues in here, then we have to end our press briefing at this particular moment. But as always, whenever we have issues to respond to, those that you always send queries on our platform, which is the Ministry of Information and Media page, and phone calls. We will not respond to one or two, but we'll hold a press briefing so that we share the information widely. From me, Mike Munkomwe, it's back to you, studio.